Firstly, well done for wanting to get out in the great outdoors. What I've done today is listed the help of my friend called Barry the Backpacker. Now Barry, why don't you come over here and introduce yourself to the good folk of YouTube land? Come on. Hey. As you can see, Barry's got no gear and probably even less idea. So what we want to do today is I want to help you and Barry with 7 backpacking pro tips that really help you have a safe and a fun time out in the great outdoors. So if you're ready to get into it, let's go. As you can see, Barry's footwear is far from suitable, so better options are either trail shoes or boots. If you're on well-trodden tracks and you're carrying a lighter pack, then trail shoes are a really good option. They're lightweight, and with a thinner, more breathable outer, they will keep your feet cooler in warmer weather. They're flexible and dry quicker when they're wet. The downside though of trail shoes is that they don't provide the best ankle support nor toe protection, and on uneven surfaces such as rocks or stones, you are more likely to feel the ground a lot more through the softer sole. The other option of course is to buy stronger boots that give you better ankle support due to the sides that go further up your foot. They have a more rigid sole which gives you a more stable footing, as well as greater protection around the front of the toes. Many boots have a water-resistant layer such as Gore-Tex, which can help when walking through wet grass or low-lying rivers. With the weight of your foot being equivalent to around 5 to 6 times that of the weight in your pack, the downside of boots is that they're heavier and require far more energy to lift and to carry them around. And although the inner waterproofing membrane is good, it's more of a temporary help in reducing, but certainly not stopping, your feet from getting wet. And as I go through this, if there's something that I've missed that you really want to know, feel free to put it in the comments. And while you're there, you might as well also subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see other helpful videos like this. So the next tip up is to get yourself a really good pack or rucksack. For shorter local day walks, I'd suggest something around an 18-litre pack will be fine. It's enough to be able to house your water, your jacket, your first aid, food, and really everything you'll need. For longer or winter day walks, I'd suggest something around a 35-litre, which would be more than enough. A chest strap with a whistle on it is a really good safety device to have. And from a practical perspective, having a pack cover for when it rains and also easily accessible side pockets are really good too. And before you head out, a good tip is to always put your gear in dry sacks or a large plastic bag to give added protection from rain or if you trip over while crossing a river. It's certainly tempting to think on a warm day, sun's out, guns out, and take limited clothes. When it comes to weather though, especially in the high country, the temperature can drop 7 degrees Celsius for every 1,000 meters you climb, or it'll get colder by 2 degrees Celsius for every 10 kilometers of wind you experience. So expect the unexpected and take extra clothes so you can easily layer up if and when it gets cold and or wet. I think my clothes are pretty good for backpacking. What do you reckon? You've got to be kidding. You'll need, of course, a raincoat, over trousers and a warm jacket, preferably filled with water-treated down feathers, or something that's a really good warmth to weight ratio, a synthetic material called Primaloft, together with shorts and warm pants to walk in, and gloves and a hat. Because of their warmth factor when dry or wet, merino wool and some synthetics are best. Avoid cotton as it's not the warmest material and it's super hard to dry when it's wet. And what about the colour of your gear? Well, obviously when it comes to photos, brighter the better, but also that applies to being rescued as well. The easier that you can be seen, the quicker that you're potentially going to get rescued. Blue is also a colour that's not often found in the wild and therefore far more distinguishable from other natural elements around it. I think I'm ready to go backpacking. Whoa, cowboy, before you go too far, there are some other things that you need to know. Safety should always be a high priority for you. Take with you a good first aid kit, head torch and a personal locator beacon or an inReach, or at least have one amongst the group you're going with. Take extra food just in case you can't get out when you thought you would. Alright, so we're going up Avalanche Peak Tract, Avalanche Peak. Should be back about 5 o'clock tonight. Boom, safety measures sent. Even when you're in a group, don't exclusively rely on others for directions. Know the route yourself just in case you get separated from the group, which has actually happened to me. So should you go solo or should you go with others? The big question. Some people really love the freedom of solo backpacking. However, due to the fun and safety factors, I really enjoy going with family or from a local tramping club. I enjoy meeting different people, learning new things, and going to places I actually never even knew existed. Having fun while out backpacking is obviously really important, and there are some simple things that you can do to ensure that that happens. When you sit down to have a well-earned break, it can be really helpful to have some good yummy food that you can look forward to having. Another one is to do trips that are well within your fitness and your skill level. And also go to places where the weather is the best. Now, one of the things I do need to really warn you about, and that is that backpacking, tramping, hiking is really addictive. Once you get a small sniff of it, you want more and more and more and more. And one of the things you've got to be really careful with is not overdoing it, but actually underdoing it. So make sure that you've got trips planned in the future that'll help you step off the treadmill of life and rejuvenate you in a really positive way. All right, thank you for hanging in to the end. I really appreciate that. I certainly hope that you found these tips helpful. And as I said before, if there's any questions or anything else you want to know, please put it in the comments and I will respond accordingly. And if you haven't subscribed, you know what to do. And until I see you in the next helpful video, always stay safe, stay strong. See you in the next one, team. Bye.